Today's topic is about social psychology. Social psychology is the scientific study of the way in which people's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are influenced by the real or imagined presence of other people. At the very heart of the social psychology is the phenomenon of social influence. We are all influenced by other people. Social influence is the effect that the words, actions, or mere presence of other people having on our thoughts, feelings, attitudes, or behavior. Social psychologists are interested in understanding how and why the social environment shapes the thoughts and feelings of the individual. The power of social interpretation. To understand social influence, it is more important to understand how people perceive and interpret the social world than it is to understand that world objectively. The term construal refers to the world as it is interpreted by the individual. Given the importance placed on the way people interpret the social world, social psychologists pay special attention to the origins of these interpretations. Example, consider what happens in a murder trial. Even when the prosecution presents compelling evidence, these construals rest on a variety of events and perceptions that often bear no objective relevant evidence. And how else can we understand social influence? The answer to this is social psychologists approach the understanding of social influence differently than the philosophers, journalists, or lay person. Social psychologists develop explanation of social influence through experiments in which the variables being studied are carefully controlled. Why do people behave the way they do? One way to answer this question might be simply to ask them. The problem with this approach is that people are not always aware of the origins of their own responses and feelings. When trying to convince people that their behavior is greatly influenced by the social environment, the social psychologist is up against a formidable barrier. All of us tend to explain people's behavior in terms of their personalities. It is a fundamental attribution error. The tendency to explain our own and other people's behavior entirely in terms of personality traits, thereby underestimating the power of social influence. When we underestimate the power of social influence, we gain a feeling of false security. Doing so gives the rest of us the feeling that we could never engage in repugnant behavior shown by others. Ironically, this in turn increases our personal vulnerability to possibly destructive social influence by lulling us into lowering our guard. By failing to fully appreciate the power of situation, we tend to oversimplify complex situations, which decreases our understanding of the true causes. Aspects of the social situation that may seem minor can have powerful effects, overwhelming the differences in people's personalities. Personality differences do exist and frequently are of great importance, but social and environmental situations can be so powerful that they have dramatic effects on almost everyone. Personality psychology. Social psychology, when compared with other social sciences, the personality psychology took place first. When trying to explain social behavior, personality psychologists generally focused on individual differences, the aspects of people's personalities that make them different from others. Social psychologists are convinced that explaining behavior primarily through personality factors ignores a critical part of the story, that is, the powerful role played by social influence. The difference between social psychology and other social sciences in level of analysis reflects another differences between disciplines, what they are trying to explain. Other social sciences are more concerned with broad social, economical, political, and historical factors that influence events in a given society. For the social psychologist, the level of analysis is the individual in the context of a social situation. Sociology. Sociologists are more concerned with why particular society or group within a society produces behavior, for example, aggression, in its members. The major differences is that sociology, rather than focusing on the psychology of the individual, looks towards the society at large. The goal of social psychology is to identify universal properties of human nature. That is, that make everyone susceptible to social influence regardless of social class or culture. Thank you.